The Daily Download. The Daily Download. Daily Download. With Mac and Gaydos. The biggest stories now.
Occupy Wall Street never really caught on with most Americans.
Yeah, there's a new poll, Gallup poll USA Today, that says the movement has failed to capture the attention of a majority of Americans, but Americans are still angry. So they're still angry, but they're not willing to go out in the street and protest about it.
Poll says about half of Americans surveyed are neither supporters nor opponents of Occupy, because they're not sure exactly what they're doing there.
Right.
But something happened this weekend with Occupy and pepper spray.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Yeah, I think this was at UC Davis, University of California, Davis, where they had to clear out the occupiers. So they were all sitting peacefully, and they went down the line, and
The cops went down the line.
The cops went down the line like they were spraying tomato plants for bugs and just pepper sprayed everybody, while other people watched and shouted, "Shame on you!"
I think that's lazy police work.
Is it, or
Yes.
is it preventative
No.
that they don't want to get people riled up, and then you have a melee going on, and then you choose to use the pepper spray?
You can say, why don't you just taser everybody so everybody's, incapacitated?
I would like that.
If they're, and I saw the video, listen, they're sitting there, they are not moving. You could have literally, what would have happened was the police would have had to go and pick each one of them up.
Right.
That's what happened anyway, because they were down on the ground.
They were down on the ground.
Got base.
Right.
The group that successfully recalled Russell Pierce is now going after Sheriff Arpaio and Governor Brewer.
Good luck. I actually think you can go and get Russell Pierce out.
I was going to say, that's interesting you say that, because Russell Pierce, Joe Arpaio, and Jan Brewer all have immigration issues, let's say.
SB 1070.
Right. Why don't you think that they would be successful against Arpaio and maybe Jan Brewer?
Russell Pierce wrote SB 1070.
Right.
Russell Pierce has been against illegal immigration and everybody should be against illegal immigration, but, is the only thing Russell Pierce did was, let's try and figure something about illegal immigration, and that was his downfall.
Right.
Joe Arpaio, he's still popular. People like that he goes and gets the drunk drivers, puts them in the pink underwear, and says, "Hey, you know what? You want to drive around the city all loaded up? You're going to be in a tent."
But
there are other things to Sheriff Joe than
just illegal immigration.
I think it's probably the top of his list, but there is a middle and a bottom, too.
But remember what we said last week, though, is a lot of people aren't concerned about immigration, and that's what Jan Brewer really got reelected on. She got elected on the immigration SB 1070 debate. I think you're right about Arpaio, though. He is just way too popular for many different reasons, not just immigration.
I also think people like Jan Brewer because she goes up against the Obama administration.
Right.
I think people like that. Whether it be for illegal immigration or not, I think people like that she stands up for Arizona.
She done did it.
I haven't.
The super committee isn't that super. In fact, it's called a failure.
Yeah, it's a super failure.
Yes.
They came out today, and they said, after all this time, we haven't gotten anything done.
We haven't done nothing.
Right. So this
is
is
Jan
like
Brewer would say.
In your office, you give a guy who hates another guy, or two women that hate each other, a project, and you say in 3 months you got to find more revenue, or you got to find ways to cut costs, because we're going to go under if it doesn't. And they come back 3 months later and go, we just really didn't do anything. And what would you do with those people? You'd fire them.
And I know, we poked fun at Jan Brewer a little bit here on the Daily Download, but the people in Washington are so much worse. I mean, really, the president, John Boehner, both sides of the aisle. Our own John Kyle should have retired a few years ago. He didn't get anything done in the super committee.
Right.
I mean, they're just buffoons in Washington. They really are, and they can't figure it out. And what's going to happen
is we're going to suffer.
Yeah.
This really does have an impact on confidence. If it has an impact on confidence, it'll have an impact on the economy.
And it had an impact on the Dow today. You probably lost a lot of money in your 401k because of the incompetence in Washington.
Right. So basically, this is going to hurt us coming up for 2012.
Yeah.
Consumer confidence will be down, and ultimately, we will pay more in taxes for less services. I know that sounds odd, but we got to make up this deficit somehow. And where's the government going to get the money? From us.
All right, that's a Daily Download. It's one of the most entertaining segments on the radio today. We do it at 5:05, the 5 must-hear stories of the day.